I'm here in the heart of mountain lion territory. And if you live in LA, you've probably heard the stories of the mountain lions that live here in these hills. They don't have a lot of space. No one knows that better than Beth Pratt. She's the one spearheading the efforts to build the world's biggest wildlife bridge right here in LA. Beth is about to set out on a 5-day, 50-mile hike that retraces the steps of an actual mountain lion named P22. And she's given us permission to accompany her with unrestricted access. I'm going to record her entire journey on my iPhone so she can show us firsthand the obstacles that these cougars face and why their struggle should matter to any of us. I just have to point out how different this is. We were just in quiet in the middle of what really felt like the wild. And now look at this, we're at a major intersection. It's super loud. There's cars everywhere.
Would you cross this as a mountain lion? I wouldn't even cross as a person.
Is your home in an area that's susceptible to wildfires? Did you know that there are actually things that you can do in preparation for wildfire season that will help firefighters save your home in the case of an emergency? Well, I caught up with Fire Captain Eric Scott high above City Hall to find out 5 quick things that you can do right now.
The Los Angeles Fire Department battles grass fires, brush fires routinely.
This is Live Med-Aid.
Indeed, as we are all staying indoors, the earth is flourishing on the other side of our windows. So let's take a deeper dive into this connection between the environment, the pandemic, and us, the humans across the globe who are dealing with this new reality. We are so lucky to have our next 2 guests with us here today. So let's take a step back and on a very macro level, what's the connection between COVID-19 and the climate crisis?
Well, I think they all reflect the fact that humanity is in a very unique position in the history of life on this planet.
Race is the underlying determinant of whether a family has access to fresh and healthy food or not.
So I am here inside Lupita's Market, 2 weeks into construction. You can see the renovation is well underway. It is so hot in here, and yet all the people you see behind me who are working are organizations and individuals who have donated time and materials in some capacity to make this renovation happen. After weeks of waiting, the grand reopening of Lupita's Corner Market in Delhi brings lots of smiles and tears of joy.
Me siento muy contenta que mis hijos sigan mi legado y que sean honestos como yo les enseñé.
Scott Niedermayer is a hockey legend, and this year he's getting inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He agreed to do an interview with me on the condition that we did it in the Canadian Amazon. First of all, congratulations for getting inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
And secondly, you brought me here. Wanted to learn more about how unique the ecosystem is and why environmentalists are fighting so hard against the pipeline. So we jumped in the kayaks and went for a paddle with Darcy from the World Wildlife Fund. How can environmentalists like yourself be so hard on this pipeline getting built here when the boats all use oil and you land planes with oil? When the 7.0 magnitude earthquake rolled through Haiti 1 year ago, it shook the entire country to its core. Over 250,000 lives lost and an incomprehensible amount of damage. No one could have ever imagined the level of destruction. But one thing is for sure, it's not over.
The hazard is still present.
My battery's gonna die on my video diary camera right now, but I want to show you something just to get an idea of this rubble. Look at this. Right over here. That's a car trapped under there. There's never been a housing crisis like the one happening in Haiti right now. Over 1 million people are displaced, their homes destroyed. Now, being a poor island nation, new construction materials are scarce. But one resource post-earthquake that Haiti has no shortage of is rubble. There's no electricity or machinery, it's just men and sweat and building these things up. It's so simple, but obviously does so much for the long run. Building one new home uses up the rubble from 4 destroyed houses, 1 bucket at a time. Now we're just about to go meet a family who actually lives in one of the homes, but we're kind of trying to fight daylight here. We've got about 20 minutes left of daylight.
And this is what they were living in, and so they've been able to move out.
Oh, so they lived over there in that tent, and now they live over here in the permanent home. Bonjour Eric.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va? Je m'appelle Aliya Jasmine.
Très bien, très heureux de te connaître.
Enchantée. Comment est-ce que ça s'est changé ton vie?
Bon, maintenant, ça me rend très heureux parce que j'ai une très belle maison.
In this country, a place to call home, no matter what it's made of, is at the top of every family's wish list. But to think that a new Haiti can literally rise from the dust of the old, I can't think of a better symbol for hope than that. With this America's pregame update, I'm Aliya Jasmine, and here are 3 things you need to know. Heat guard Dwayne Wade sits out shoot-around this morning due to an illness and is questionable for tonight's game against the Pacers. Pitcher Ryan Vogelsong agrees to a 1-year deal with the Giants pending a physical. And this Sunday, Coach K looks for his 1,000th win. Coverage begins at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. For more on Coach K, including excerpts from his one-on-one interview with Bill Raftery, catch America's pregame tonight at 6 Eastern, right here on Fox Sports 1. We're getting closer and closer to the main stage with all the athletes. The crowd is wild. I'm hanging out here with Usher. What would be your sport of choice?
Figure skating. I think I'd be the coolest figure skater ever. I come out with like Timberlands.
I'm Aliya Jasmine, and I'm a TV producer, television host, writer. I did a documentary in Africa with this 14-year-old girl. She was supposed to culturally marry this man who was in his 60s, and she would be one of his wives. She ran away, and she wanted to make a change in her community. She wanted to show people that girls needed to get an education, that you can't just marry them off for cattle. And she started this movement.
What's your life like on a daily basis?
You may see a girl of 15 years is already getting married. Want that richness of the cow and goats.
So it's like you become like a possession. They can make money off of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
My parents were born and grew up 2 hours from where she lives. And by chance, I was born in Canada. That's totally by luck. Being able to do what I want, marry who I want, have my own opinions, have an education. And if this 14-year-old girl in South Sudan could, by the power of dialogue, change people's perceptions and make the world a better place, I have no excuse as a woman in media.